Hello, hi, everyone. Hello. Hi. Can you hear me, guys? Can you see me? Is it audible? Hello, hello. Hi. Hello, hi, everyone. Hello. Hi. Can you hear me, guys? Can you see me? Is it audible? Okay, okay. Perfect. Hi.
Hello, hello.
Let's see how this works. Hello, 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 hello.
Hi. Hello, hi, everyone. Hello. Hi.
Just exit this. Okay. Chat box. Oh, where's my YouTube chat? Let me just connect with the chat box. I'm not able to see the chat, so just let me go through the chats. Yes, hello. Hi. I think there's a lag, but I hope it should be audible and visible. Chat. And okay. And okay, audible, visible. Let me check if you all can hear me. Let's see. Hi, everyone, can you hear me? Can you see me? Can I start? This is what happens when you have less knowledge of technology. Yeah, audible. Okay, okay. Hi, hello everyone. My name is Kunal Doshi. Yes, and I'll be discussing with you all about courses that. Okay, perfect. About the courses that you can do along with your work. The objective here is because I realize that there are many courses which we can do along with our jobs, and you should be continuously doing or adding these courses to your CV. Not only for your resume, but we live in a world where being continuously upgraded will not only help you grow but also survive in terms of crisis. So here are these 10 courses that I've come across, and I'm going to talk about all of them one by one, all related to finance, but anyone who is or not from finance background can do that. And for most of these courses, you don't have to leave your job. I'm also going to discuss you how to do that, what is the scope of it. And here the objective is how to do it without any coaching or with coaching, whatever your queries are, I'll take that. How exactly to pursue it, what are the easiest way to deal with it, and what is my experience to pass them. Okay, because the primary objective is to complete those courses, not only just learn them. So yes, I'll discuss about that as well. So today I'm going to talk about CFA, because I'm myself chartered financial analyst, and 2009 is where I gave my level 1 exams, and it's been almost 12 to 13 years now. and I've been teaching CFA. So in various parts, fortunately now, I've taught in India as well as various other parts of the world. So the advantage of CFA and the pros and cons that I've come across about it, I would like to share with everyone, because I get these queries in bits and pieces. So I thought, why not discuss them on a live session? And I'll also upload this recording so that you can perhaps forward it or watch it later as well. So I'll do a quick short presentation. It won't be long. I'll just quickly discuss what is CFA, the scope of it, and some features which I think are very common and most of us should know. And after that, I'll take up your queries from the chat box, and we can perhaps do the discussion. Okay. All right. So let's start. Yes. So what is the, and in between, if there is any technical glitch or anything, please let me know, because I think since been doing for the first time live, I am expecting some technical issues for sure, but do let me know. Okay. Okay. I forgot to record it. Sorry. Okay. So let's start with what exactly CFA is. As I said, in the next 10 weeks, I'll be discussing 10 different courses. Today, we'll keep it, narrow it down to CFA only. Okay. So first, briefly, Chartered Financial Analyst, this is CFA USA. I have been getting a lot of queries also that do we have CFA India as well? And was it there in the past? Well, we did had CFA India. We had CFA individually in our country, but now only CFA USA exists. This is CFA course by CFA Institute USA itself. Okay. Well, these days, the capital markets, if you want to work into the capital markets with the portfolio management or research or mergers and acquisition, or so-called the fancy word of investment banking, all this stuff, wherever you want to work into, CFA has become, somehow an entry level, for at least an entry level, if you are level 1 or level 2 pass, that clearly gives you an edge compared to other programs, for the reason that it's a global course. Most of the financial institutions know the curriculum and the importance of it, and how tough the exams are, and they treat you at par with the other candidates. Okay. So that's the most important thing. And since we live in a global world, we are going to work in a market, we are going to work in global markets. So you need to know how not only your local markets work, but how global markets, US markets, European, developed, emerging, frontier markets, how they work. So that's where CFA has an advantage. And one of the best thing about CFA, which I'm going to talk in the slides going ahead, is the course is so updated. The course is so much for example, I'll give you one short example. Can you tell me what has been the biggest event of this year that everyone is perhaps aware of? Any big event that you can just put on the chat box, any big event that you think has been in the news constantly, any big event that you can share or let me know? Yes, anyone? Yes, war has been the biggest event, correct? So CFA Institute has inculcated geopolitics into its curriculum. Second, if you ask me what has been the theme, what is the future with respect to finance, then in that case, I should perhaps say fintech, cryptocurrencies, right? Everyone would want to know about that as an asset class and want to study more about it. So CFA Institute has that in the curriculum. Whether you are from the finance background or not, machine learning or artificial intelligence, that is going to be important. No, definitely there's nothing about queen dying, so that is not there in the syllabus. But yes, machine learning, data analysis, all these things for a finance student, of the one who comes from the accounting and finance background, they perhaps have no idea about it. So CFA does help with that as well. It's a curriculum which gets updated every year almost, and it is quite up to date. So whatever is happening in the financial market is included in the curriculum. That's the best thing about CFA. So of course, it starts from scratch where you have no idea about what finance is, because most of the times in my class, uh, I'm not exaggerating, but around half of the people in my class are from the engineering background. And these guys who have never studied finance, even they do CFA, and trust me, their score is relatively better because they do good with quants. So yes, this is the scope of CFA, which I've put up in the slide. All these slides, by the way, are from the CFA Institute portal itself. You can go and check there, cfainstitute.org. All the details are available. Okay. Now, the structure. So I'm giving you a brief structure. This structure is, for level 1, because the first thing you'll start with is level 1. There are 10 topics, or you can call it as 10 subjects, right? There are around 60 chapters or 60 readings. The exam is bifurcated in 2 parts: morning session and afternoon session. Both sessions are for 2 hours and 15 minutes each, and in between you have a 30-minute optional break. I'm sure you will take a break. It's a computer-based exam. You don't have to write with pen and paper, anything. The exam is for 90 questions. All are multiple choice questions in level 1 and level 2. In level 3, half of your paper is multiple choice and the other half is descriptive, where you will have to type now. Before, we used to write it. Okay, so let's focus on level 1 initially. In level 1, there are 90 questions in the morning session, that is, according to the time slots that you book, and in the afternoon session or the second session, where you have another 90 questions. Overall, 180 questions. And as I said, it's multiple choice. The advantage is that compared to other exams, here you have 3 choices only. So you have to select between A, B, and C. Okay. Now CFA Institute has 4 attempts in a year. So basically there are 4 different time slots that you can book level 1 exams. For level 2 and level 3, there are 2 attempts in a year. Okay. These for level 1 is February, May, August, November. That's the time slot for level 1. More than 400, 500 locations. I remember the time when I gave exam in India, we had only 1 center for the entire country. Now I think there are centers in every city, in every major cities in India, because I think majority of the students give from India and China. So yes, that is the thing. And the average passing rate keeps on shifting because every year they add on. The 10-year average passing rate is around 40 to 43%. Of course, the recent year trend has not been that great. The recent year trend, I mean, why not great? Because people compare it with the previous years. The previous year CFA Institute level 1 pass rate has been above 40% comfortably. These days it's 20 to 30%. But I don't think so that's bad at all, considering the other courses that you do where the passing percentage is hardly in single digit. So still there's a edge in doing CFA and passing it out. Okay. What is the eligibility requirement? One important thing that has happened about CFA previously, anyone who is in the bachelor year, the last year of graduation, where they mention that anyone who is in the college or university and in the final year, within the last 11 months of your graduation, you can do the program. You can start, you can give your level 1 exams. You can also do the exam if you have a combination of 4,000 hours of work experience that is required. In case if you go for the other choice, remember this is also required. The experience is also required once you pass CFA. But I'll right now focus on eligibility. If you are already a graduate in whichever stream, you can appear for CFA. Second, no, there is no negative market. I just read a comment now. There's no negative market. No, that's the best thing about CFA. No negative market. So even if you attempt, it's wrong. There's no negative market. Okay. Yes, you can register for CFA level 1 as soon as you are graduate. But now they have added a feature that those who are as a student, you can begin the program within 23 months of graduation and kickstart adding the important. Okay. Within 23 months of your graduation means basically you can start in the second last year of your graduation also. If you note it that way, they have not specified it, but exactly. But let's say if you are doing BCom in India, so that's where I think you can do it in your second year also, second year of degree. You can enroll for the program. This is what it looks like. So I think they're making it more and more lenient. So more and more college students can also do CFA, much like other courses like ACCA. Okay, so this is where I expect a huge amount of students to enroll into level 1. Okay. Yes. So as earlier as in your second last year of graduation, you can enroll the program. This is what as of date the update is. Otherwise, during my era, we could do it in the last year of your graduation. Our graduation, we could give the level 1 exam, but these days you can give it much earlier also. Okay. Yes. This is the journey. Suppose right now, if we register right now, you have already missed the February deadline because it's costly now to register. I'll explain you the cost and other features. But right now, if you're planning for CFA, considering you require at least 4 to 5 months of preparation if you are doing jobs. So in that case, your closest attempt would be, I expect, May. So if you give level 1 in May, because as I said, level 1 comes 4 times a year, then you can give level 2 later on and then level 3 later on. Okay. One small feature here is that between 2 exams, our policy is that there must be a minimum of 6 months between exams. This allows candidates 6 to 9 months between testing windows. So if you give level 1, let's say in May, your results, even though it's a multiple choice question, it's quite funny, but the results take 60 days to appear on an average. I'm expecting CFA Institute to fast forward these results because it's multiple choice. So I expect them to give it immediately. But as of now, it takes around 60 days, or you can say around, you can say around approximately 2 months for the CFA Institute to come up with the results. And after that, you can appear for level 2. Whichever is the closest window, you can book for level 2. But remember, before you book for your level 2, once you pass level 1, you will require same amount of preparation at least for your level 2. So don't jump the guns with immediate exam. You should rather give at least 5 to 6 months of preparation time for level 2, because level 2 is more intense than level 1. Okay. And that is the journey. Again, this roadmap is also displayed on CFA Institute. Okay. There are 10 topics, as I mentioned, 10 subjects. The percentage, the weightage keeps changing. But overall, if you would see that these subjects are constant across the 3 levels. Okay. So gradually you start by understanding all the topics, and then the focus becomes in level 2, the focus becomes on valuation of equity. And finally, the focus goes on to the portfolio management, where you would see a high weightage. So the topics remain the same. You just keep on going one notch up, right? That is that's why it's called level 1, 2, 3, not part 1 or part 2, because the topics remain the same. Ethics is a theoretical topic. CFA Institute wants your ethics scores to be higher. I'll also discuss it with you. What are the minimum scores required, or is there anything like a minimum score? Quants is statistics, right? Calculations. Many of those who are from the finance background, they struggle a bit here because of the statistics that they may not have done appropriately during their university programs. But here it is more of application. So it's not hardcore mathematics. So that is where quants will be more how it is applied or used in finance world. And it is very important for your investments also. I worked in the mutual fund industry, and I know at times these jargons were complicated. So QM really helps with that. And it is very, very scoring as well, because it's, calculation based. Economics in level 1, it's quite basic. Economics is more about what we've already done, like demand, supply, macroeconomics, monetary policy, fiscal policy. So economics is relatively easier. When I say relatively easier, means I'm talking in terms of understanding. For passing, what are the skills? I'll discuss that. Financial reporting and analysis, which now they've renamed as financial statement and analysis. So here it's not accounting. It's all about how to analyze financial statements. This is one of my favorite topics, because even after learning how to make balance sheet and income statement, which I just did it somehow, how to actually analyze them. What is Apple's financial statement? Why is Apple making money? How is it making money, and why it doesn't give a single charger for all, and how much does it make from that? All these things are discussed in financial statements and analysis. This is a very interesting topic, and don't worry if you're from the engineering background. It starts from scratch, and it is not accounting. So you don't have to worry. You are not going to be making you are not going to be preparing financial statements. Okay, so don't worry about it. Corporate finance, which now they call as corporate issuers, this is where you will understand how the company raises capital, debt equity. What exactly is debt equity? Where should the company get the capital from, and which projects should they invest? So this is very much similar to capital budgeting. Equity investments and fixed income, this is where we talk about shares and bonds. Derivatives, not the mathematic derivatives, but derivatives is futures, options. Alternative investments, where you talk about hedge funds, real estate. If you would see, relatively the percentage of derivatives, alternatives is very less throughout the three levels. Okay. And finally, you have portfolio management or wealth planning. This is what has the highest weightage in level 3. So I'll tell you my experience. When I did level 1, I came to know, okay, this is what global market is. In level 2, I realized, okay, this is how companies value. This is how, this is how, what are different methods of valuation. So and how to exactly do that on a spreadsheet also. I mean, of course, that was not taught in level 2, but I tried doing that on the spreadsheet, and, financial modeling and other courses that you probably plan to do after level 2, they make more sense. A question is it? Okay, thank you. And level 3 is more about how to manage money for institutions or individuals. So this is exactly related to financial planning and execution. So level 3, I really enjoyed level 3. A lot of people find it boring, but I really enjoyed it because I was actually working into wealth management. So I really, really found it very interesting. So yeah, these are the 10 topics. Okay. Now, as I said, for level 1, this is the weightage. If you remember, I told you morning session and afternoon session. In the morning session, now they ask you these 4 topics: ethics, QM, economics, and financial reporting and analysis. These 4 topics are asked in the morning sessions. So as I mentioned, you will get around 90, not around, you'll exactly get 90 questions in the first half and the 90 questions in the second half. Okay, these are average questions because the weightages are in range. They are not exact weightage. So 90 in the first half and 90 in the second half. The second half includes the first half. Here the focus is on first half is the tools. So, even if you're planning to do anything in finance, what is finance? Finance is a combination of quants, economics, and financial statements. When you understand all 3, you can understand any product. So the first half is about the tools and the second half is about the products. So how is that applied in equity, fixed income, derivatives, alternatives, right? So actually, when you study also, let's say you're going to join a course for 4 months or 5 months, your majority of time, irrespective of whatever the weightage is, your majority of number of hours goes into the first 4 readings, the first 4 topics. In fact, I would say, let's say if you're doing a CFA program for 150 hours, out of that 150 hours, around 100 hours, 80 to 100 hours are going to be taken by these 3 topics, right? That in depth they are. So around 2/3 of your time quantum is going to be in these 3 topics: QM, economics, and FSA. Okay, that's going to take your maximum time. The rest topics are relatively lesser in size and easier after you do these 3 topics. So if you're going to start self-study, I would rather suggest you can start with, let's say, if you're going to do self-study, I would suggest in which topic to start. Don't go with the book flow. You should first, this is my suggestion, I would suggest you to first start with financial reporting and analysis, then do quants. Because once you do these 2 topics, all the other topics are relatively easier. Then I would suggest you to do corporate finance, equity, fixed income, derivatives, alternatives, portfolio. Okay. And then finally, you can do economics and ethics. I know ethics is very important, the highest weightage, but I've kept in the last because ethics is more about solving questions and not about too much of reading. But the late you read these two theory topics of ethics and economics, the better it is, because you also have to remember some of the things there. Otherwise, there's not too much of a memorizing stuff required as much as people would say, but ethics and economics you can keep at the last. Of course, you want to start before also, you can do that. But I would rather suggest you to start with financial statement analysis and quants, because once you do these two topics, you can actually do any other topics and you can go in this flow. I'll repeat, for your study, you can start with FSA and QM. Okay, and then you can do corporate, equity, fixed income, derivatives, alternatives, portfolio. They are very practical and you'll really, really enjoy it. And finally, you can do ethics and economics, or economics and ethics, whatever suits you. Okay, everyone. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Now, what do you think? How much is the passing required in CFA? Because I've seen students getting that answer from multiple sources and they say, 70 overall, or what exactly? Okay, so I'll just clarify what the CFA Institute says. First of all, the results are displayed in this manner. For each topic, you would see for each topic whether you've scored above 70, between 50 to 70, or below 50. Okay, this is how your results would appear. Okay, is it easier for CMA students? I would suggest not only CMA, but anyone who's done any stream of finance, any stream of graduation. For them it's easy. Whether it's easy or not, there's a process. If you follow that process, it's easy for whether you are an engineering student or a finance student, or from whatever background you are. I'll tell you what is the required stuff to pass, but just to before that, let me explain. So above 70, between 50 to 70, and below 50. So as I said, there are 10 topics. Yes, overall, if you're above 70, it's safe. CFA Institute doesn't mention that how much exactly you should score. They say, see this, consistent scores. If you notice this is what their words are. Consistent scores above 70 of the available point is a reasonable signal of topic mastery. So they haven't mentioned that how much exactly you need to pass, but above 70 is a safer score. This is what the industry knows. So individually or overall, well, my suggestion and from my experience, I would say that you have to try to achieve individually also above 70. When I say above 70 means 70 percentile. Here, let's say there are going to be 10 questions from a topic. So if you score 7 or more, then you are in the 70 plus range, isn't it? So of course, each topic has some allocated questions. So the higher you score, the better it is. And above 7 or above 70 percentage, that's more safer. So my suggestion is individual topic also, you should try to score above 70 percentile, not only overall. Do not go with that words. Whosoever tells you that overall 70 is fine, individually may or may not be. Well, they do at times allow, because I think I got in 8 topics or 9 topics, I don't remember, 8 or 9 topics above 70, and 1 or 2 topics between 50 to 70, but none of the topics below 50 in level 1. However, many of my friends who got 6 or 7 topics above 70, and they were also passed. So because they have a very different algorithm, they will check that above 70 also, where exactly are you? Are you on the extreme upside or somewhere on the edge, or what exactly? So the safest thing I would suggest everyone is to be above 70. One thing I would like to say is that, see, check here. If you check this topic of portfolio management or derivatives or alternatives, right? There, if you have to score 70 plus, let's say if I take 12 into 0.7, that is going to be 8.4. So if you score 8, you are below 70, isn't it? Because that's 2/3. But if you score 9 pass, so your score here should be 9 out of 12, means you cannot do more than 3 incorrect answers. So your precision in the smaller topic is more important. See, in the bigger topics like FSA, let's say in FSA, if I have to take 27 into 0.7, I have to score 19 out of 27. So I have perhaps a scope of 7 to 8 questions being wrong is okay if I have to be above 70. Okay. But the smaller the weightage of the topic, I feel they are more dangerous because there you have to be more precise. How percentile works? Exactly in the same manner as other courses where it is based on the questions. So let's say, as I mentioned here, let's say if there are 12 questions, if you score 9, you are above that, you are in the first 30 percentile. Okay. Otherwise, you are in the bottom 70 percentile. So exactly in the same way. Of course, the highest gets the 100 percentile, but here I would suggest let's assume that the highest scores 12 on 12. So we go with that assumption only. Got it? Perfect. So conclusion, try to score above 70 percentile in all the topics individually. Then of course your overall will be definitely above 70. But at no point ethics should be below 70. This is my personal suggestion. Ethics is one topic that CFA Institute is very concerned and they want you to score high on ethics. I've seen many times that you may have good score in other topics, but if in ethics you are poor, then your chances are not so great. So at any point, ethics have to be very strong. And that's why I'll come to the point that how to focus on scoring. Even if you have knowledge, that is one part, but passing is a different thing. And this is where I'm going to discuss where I have had a discussion with those people who like finance and they feel CFA is easy. Well, CFA is very much easy. I would not say it's easy. It's very much easy if you follow the process. And the process is that here I'm going to talk more specifically about level 1, because once you go to level 2 and level 3, definitely you may not require my help at all. You will be probably more independent and you'll realize that what is required. So let's assume that I'm going to give the May exam. And today is what I decide, or let's say I decide on 1st December that I want to go with the level 1 exam. So overall, you have December, Jan, Feb, March, April, 5 months of preparation. And in May, you can choose the dates. Generally, the dates, there are windows available where you can choose the dates now. You have a flexibility of choosing the dates. Let's say they give you some 4 or 5 different dates which you can choose, and the location also you can choose of your preferences. First, if you choose your date and location, once you decided the date, let's say you've decided 15th May as the date. So now you have December and 4 more months. So 5 months of preparation time plus 15 days. Okay. What I would suggest, if you're working, those who are not working definitely can give as many hours as possible. Here, my focus is on those who are working and how would they manage it. First of all, make a plan to arrange 2 hours of study every day. And this you should keep till 4 to 6 months. Do not wait for the weekdays to come. Do not wait for the holidays to come and cover it up all of a sudden with 8 to 10 hours. Ideally, those who think that, okay, I'll study, at the end together for 10 hours a day. Well, that's not possible because you won't be able to focus. It needs to start gradually. It's like, workout. You can't all of a sudden go and start, doing excessive workout when you have not done any warm-up. So yeah, so start studying every day. Either you can have morning 1 hour and evening 1 hour. If you're not comfortable studying 2 to 3 hours a day at a stretch, you can just manage your day in that way. Okay, morning 1 hour and evening 1 hour. You can choose one subject or 2 subjects. Okay. Second, at the end, as I said, let's say you're going to give the May exam. So at the end, try to keep at least 3 to 4 weeks, if possible, arrange your leaves in a manner, your mandatory leaves or your work leaves, arrange it in a manner that you have time to do self-study. It's very risky to directly be working on the weekdays and then going for the exam. Well, you need time to focus and solve questions. Solving questions is very, very important. Without that, just by reading, you cannot be confident that, oh, I know everything and I'll give the exam. No, solving questions as many as possible. You should focus on as many questions as you can solve. I'm also going to discuss about the resources, so don't worry about that. Overall, whichever resource you use, I would suggest, use, do at least 2 to 3 readings. For example, most of the people are going to go with Schwezer. I've mentioned here. I've also studied from Schwezer. And for the CFA, I would suggest, by the way, I do take lectures for Kaplan Schwezer. So with all disclosure of conflict of interest, I would say that still go for Kaplan Schwezer book. That is the best book for you all to pass CFA level 1. If you do not have enough of resources to do the coaching or anything, you can do self-study from the CFA Schwezer book. However, of course, the advantage of joining an institute is where you meet people, you understand, okay. And group study, I'm always a fan of a group study rather than individual study. So I'll discuss about that as well. But yes, you can do level 1, you can do self-study. In fact, level 2, level 3 also you can do self-study, but then you need to plan wisely. And book is Schwezer book is sufficient. But then, yes, as I said, you need to do 2 to 3 readings at least. If attempt 12 on 12 and 3 get incorrect, then also it comes. Yeah, I would say that, see, anytime you are scoring 70% of the marks of the questions correctly, definitely you are in the top 30 percentile. So your chances of passing are higher. But just to answer you, my friend, it has to be individual subjects and overall also, not just one subject. Okay, so keep notice of that. It's better you do for all subjects. Yes, so I'll come back to the point. 2 to 3 readings. Just don't read book once and go for the exam, because you may understand concepts, but some things you need to remember. Of course, you may worry that, okay, how can I do 2 to 3 readings? I don't have time. Well, trust me, the first reading will take maximum time. The second reading may also take time, but the third, fourth, fifth readings are quick. In fact, I don't know whether you may believe it or not, but I cannot sit for more than an hour of study. I require, after every hour, I take a short break of 5 to 10 minutes, but I ensure that I do that for throughout the day. So overall, my effective study is 8 to 10 hours, but I can stretch and sit at I can sit for 8 to 10 hours at a stretch. I can do that. But anyways, this is what I did in the last couple of weeks. But while I was working with, at that time, it seemed impossible to do 2 to 3 readings. But in the last moment, when you are on leave, I think your reading speed, fastens up. So you can add more and more readings. So definitely, I remember in the last, there are 5 books, by the way, level for book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 books within which there are 10 topics. Some topics are full books, and some topics are in a particular book, you have 2 to 3 topics also. When I say topic, I mean subjects. So yes, it was possible that in the last week I was able to finish the entire reading, all the books together. So yeah, that was possible. Don't try to memorize all. Even if you try to memorize, you won't be able to memorize. And one thing, don't overthink. I've seen this very common. Some people start researching while studying CFA. I would suggest that yes, practical knowledge is very important. But don't overthink. Just focus initially on passing level 1. You have enough time to apply that in your exam, in your real life after the exams. Okay. Manage your weekends, study extra on weekends, give up your weekends for any personal stuff, plan your holidays and company leaves in a way that you can give more time to CFA. As I said, join online study groups. There are many online study groups on Telegrams and Facebook these days, which we unfortunately did not have. Join a coaching institute if you feel that there's lack of self-discipline, where you are not focused on learning things, or you need a lot of inputs, or you need some quick understanding. Maybe you've left studies for quite long in between, so you are initially struggling with things. Then you can join a coaching if needed, and join a library nearby where you may find people who are doing CFA, and that will be a good thing. Before registration, a quick thing: go through the material before jumping the registration. So before you put in your $1,200, $1,300 or $1,500, I'll come to the fee structure. I would suggest just buy the material, from the market, and that's the best investment you should do. Go through it and then see how much time you will take, because accordingly you'll have to choose the date. If you think you'll finish the preparation in 6 months, go for it. If you think, no, I'll take 9 months, then accordingly choose that attempt. Check you if you're eligible for scholarship. I'm going to talk about scholarship in a moment. This is where I'm going to talk about scholarship. But yes, CFA Institute has kept an option open where if you cannot afford, you can go for scholarship. I'll discuss about that in a moment. They have put an EMI option also, but that EMI option is only for India. Okay, so for candidates residing in India, they have put an EMI option by one of the EMI providers called Eduvance. So this is exclusively for India, okay, which we do not have. Yes, you'll require credit card to register, and it is mandatory to have a passport. Yes, passport is very essential for CFA. Without passport, you cannot register CFA. And do check your name in the passport while doing the registration. It should be exactly same. I've seen many students where their passport name was not matching their registration, and they are very strict. They may not allow you to sit in the exam. Passport is mandatory, no other option. Passport has to be there and before you register, otherwise they won't allow you. And ensure that you have enough validity on your passport also. For CFA Institute, where do I arrange the notes? You can arrange the best material is CFA Institute books. They are the best resource. Once you register, you get access to candidate resource where you can also get access to question banks. This is an amazing tool, very, very interesting tool where, you can give the tests and check your scores and check your performance. This is what you can do. And this is accessible to all the candidates registering for CFA Institute. Okay, CFA Institute books are the best resource. The only problem is that they are too heavy. So it may take you much more time to complete it. Rather, most of the people they do for level 1 is that they buy a Schwezer book. Schwezer book is the best book, and it's very important from the exam point of view. Once you go for level 2 and level 3, also Schwezer is good, but I would suggest that you keep a book for your concept like a Schwezer or any other book. But to do the questions, try to do the questions from every possible route. So you can do the question, and you should be doing the questions from CFA Institute, from Schwezer, from any other question bank that you get. These days, there are many online forums and many institutes who provide you question banks. So you can, and Schwezer also has a question bank, and many other institutes provide you question banks. So do as many questions as possible. But which resource you want to study from, you keep it narrowed down to probably Schwezer or something like that, because that don't do multiple resource. This is what I generally say in my other programs also. Focus on one resource and study from there. Concepts you study from there. Questions you can do from wherever possible, right? Before you go for the final exam, there are two mocks, full mocks uploaded by the CFA Institute. You should definitely do that. There are very high chances of questions being very much similar to the mocks. And while you study CFA, start creating your self notes also, because there are formulas. I'll talk about it. There are formulas, and there are comparison of IFRS, US GAAP. Some of these things do require making up your notes and charts, and that will be very handy at the last moment. So while you're studying the entire curriculum, try to make a short summary of all the formulas or all the important concepts which will help you revise at the last moment. Okay, so create your self notes while you're studying it. Okay, number of questions, I would suggest that CFA Institute, if you go to the candidate resource, there are more than 2,000, 3,000 questions. So you should be doing that, and you'll be doing that. After every topic, you should test yourself with the CFA Institute questions. And you can also do those questions at the end of the Schwezer book. So after every reading, there in the Schwezer book also, there are questions. You can do it from the candidate resource of CFA Institute, which is free for all the students or all the candidates who are registered. So you have enough resources to practice as many questions. And eventually, after you finish the portion, give the 2 mocks. Sit for those 2 mocks, so you also know the capacity of doing the mocks, whether you are able to complete the things on time. For level 1, time is not an issue. You generally complete things well on time, but for level 2 and level 3, time becomes an issue. for many students. So that's why I would suggest you to give the mocks before you go for the final exams. CFA Institute publishes 2 mocks for every attempt. Okay. Now comes the fees. So if I check as of now, let's say if you do it, if you enroll, so here if you would see, there is a registration fee of 900 is the registration fee, $900. And there is one-time enrollment fee of $350. So if you calculate 350 plus 900, it is around 1250. Yes. So 1250 is the initial fee, out of which 350 is just paid. It is one-time enrollment fee only. Okay, this does include your level 1 exams, and then subsequently you have to pay the fees. But these fees, guys, are for initially when you invest, okay, or initially when you enroll. If you enroll after the deadline, for example, here they've given you the early registration period starts from 14th November. If you check through from 14th November through 1st February before midnight, and US timings these are. So before this, if you register 900, if you miss the deadline, then the cost rises by $300 more. So yes, $300. By the way, sorry, my mistake. This is 1150. 1150? No, 1250. Correct. This is 1250. And if you do not do it before the registration, then you have to pay 300 more. So then your cost becomes $1550. And US dollar is anyways appreciating. So, it's the earlier you register, the better it is. Okay. But as I said before registration, do check 2 important things is that go through the books and see how much time you will take. And also I'll tell you what to do. First, go for the scholarship option and see if you can get scholarship. Why not save money there if you fall under the eligibility criteria? These days, CFA Institute has come up with one option where you can reschedule your exam. Suppose if you've given if you've registered for the exam and you think somehow you're not prepared, or there are some issues due to which you cannot give exam, so you have an option to reschedule your exam by paying $250. $250 is through which you can, let's say you're going to give in May, now you want to shift to the next attempt, you can do that by paying $250. However, I'm somehow not happy with this because I think this should not be the option. Otherwise, students keep on thinking all the time, can I delay? Should I delay? Can I delay? Should I delay? And I don't want that to happen. I want students to be confident when they go for the exam. However, that's a choice that CFA Institute has given now. I think it's after the pandemic that they realize that people may not be in the situation to give exams. So some of them may have some stuff. Some of them, they may not be well back at home or some other commitments due to which the rescheduling option is available. Right. And as I mentioned already, that EMI option is available. You can pay in installments, but only for India. Scholarship. Yes, this is what is interesting, and this is what you should first go to this option, and it's on CFA Institute. Click there and see whether you are eligible. So there is a general scholarship, which is access scholarship, where you may get scholarship up to $250. This is actually for individuals who are not able to afford the program fees. There is a special category for women's scholarship. Of course, you can apply in the access scholarship also, but you can, for those who are in access scholarship, the criteria is that you are not able to afford it. But even if you are able to afford it, CFA Institute encourages more of women participation in the capital markets. And that's why, even if you do not qualify for the institute's access scholarship, you can apply under the women's scholarship. Again, here your fees can reduce by $350. There are various other options for professionals, for those who work for the regulators or those who are student, which is for the university students, but with affiliated universities. You can check the list of the universities there and get a good discount. So this is how you can save around $250 to $350, which is a big amount. Okay. So before you register for the program, as I said, 2 things you should do is check the books so that you know that you like the curriculum or not. And before you pay, don't be in the rush to pay. Check out these options of scholarship and EMI. Okay. Well, I have not kept the slides lengthy. If you have any questions or anything, you can ask me. I am much willing to respond any questions. Yes. Anyone has any questions? By the way, so happy to meet most of you all after a long time. All these, yeah. So this week I'm talking about CFA. The next weekend I'll be coming up with another course, discussing about another course which you can do. If you have any queries or any questions with regards to this, you can also put in the chat box. I can come up with a Q&A session also for it. And yeah, let me know your inputs. Any questions? My system is a bit lagging. So if you have any questions, please post and let me know if you have any queries. I can help you with that. Any specific question? I've discussed about the fee structure. Yes, as I said, initially you'll have to pay 350 registration fees and then 900 or 1200 depending on the deadline. If you're sure about doing CFA, better register it before deadline and save $300. Okay. Any questions? Anyone? Happy to see you after a long time. Pleasure. Yeah, I think I haven't come live after 2021, I guess. Yeah, so happy to see. My exams are in Jan 23 of CMA final. I'm starting your SF classes on tomorrow. Just ready to go final. Thank you so much. Yeah, about CA and SFM. Yeah, in the future also, if possible, I'll try to add more things there. And CA, I have planned to keep it free only. So for CA, whatever is possible, I'll try to upload in the future. Unfortunately, I'm not getting time because I'm traveling too much. I've been taking CFA batches, but yes, whenever I have time, I'll take something. I'll do something more for CA. Okay. Taking CA, please make a video on FRM course. Yes, Rohit. Yeah. Yes, Rohit. So I will be, as I said, I'll be coming up with a discussion on courses, different courses each week. So I wanted to start this initiative and see how it works and whether it's helpful for all or not. So definitely I'll be coming up with one more course in the next week. And if possible, I don't want to commit, but if possible, I'll invite some experts from that particular course or some, let's say we all read Schwezer books. So if possible, I can rope in some friends and colleagues of mine who are industry experts in those courses, and they can also come here and we can take live queries as well. So I'm planning something similar to that as well. I want to start CFA, when to register and which exam cycle to be appear. Dhawal, as I said, ensure that if you're working, you require 4 to 5 months of preparation at least if you're working. And if you're on leaves, 3 months throughout, just focusing on CFA, you can do it 3 to 4 months. But you need to do as many questions as possible and 2 to 3 readings at least. Is it manageable? Yes, CFA level 1 is completely manageable without coaching, although my bread and butter is on CFA coaching, but trust me, you can do it without coaching. Absolutely. As I said, plan it well. Have your resources, plan it well. In case if you have to buy some of the books or question banks, don't hesitate to do it. I mean, you're investing so much into the course, and any investment that you do in getting extra knowledge or getting extra resources, that's not harmful. Okay. So you can do without coaching as well, but you need to have enough resources of question banks. Ensure that you have enough question banks to do it. Where to read CFA curriculum book, whether to read CFA curriculum book or Schwezer notes. As I said, CFA Institute, you should, for passing, CFA Schwezer book, but for questions from whichever source, and definitely you have to do end of the chapter questions from CFA Institute. They are a good test. So you will be doing CFA from Schwezer book, let's say from Schwezer book or any other book, but you will be doing questions from whichever sources possible. At least 2 sources you should complete all the questions. One is from the Q bank of Schwezer or the Schwezer book itself, all the questions. And second, you should be able to do, you should be doing, not able to, you should do all the questions from CFA end of the chapters. So after every topic that you finish, go to the CFA Institute end of the chapter and do the questions after you finish every topic. CFA questions are a bit tough, but you should do it after every topic so that it makes you realize whether you need to study in depth or not. Trust me, CFA studying is very easy. You may not require coaching for it, but passing question solving is the most important thing. I would rather give more weightage to solving questions than reading again and again. Please keep this session on YouTube. For sure, I'll upload this on YouTube. Yes, so I've answered that question. You can do it without coaching as well, but questions from CFA Institute. Candidate resource is the option where you get that access you get once you register for CFA Institute. I tried to contact you, but no resource to contact. But unfortunately, you came live. I'm happy. Oh, pleasure. Pleasure is all mine. I've stopped answering on phones because it so happened that once or twice I got spam calls, and one of my colleagues, she was just about to pay, so I have stopped taking WhatsApp calls. There are many spams which I come across, so I've stopped taking calls. And in case if you are texting me or calling me, please put your name and course and location. At least these three things you put, because without that it's difficult for me to respond, and we get scared with those spams, so we immediately block. Apologies for that, but direct call I've tried to avoid. And most of the time I'm traveling India and outside, so I'm on ISD, so I tried avoiding calls. But you can reach me out on this channel as well. In your lectures on CA final, pleasure is all mine. If you like my CA final lectures, try to reach to as many people as possible. I would try to make as many courses free possible, because got enough from education, so giving back to education is all I'll try to do. Any further questions or anything, everyone? Okay. Yes. Yeah. Thank you everyone. I hope it was helpful, and if possible, try to share it with as many people as possible. Those who are planning to do CFA, provide your number so that we can contact you in future. Well, I'm trying to avoid sharing my number, but yeah, as soon as possible I'll try to share one contact for reference. But you can catch me on Telegram. I do come on Telegram, but yeah, there is where you can connect me on Telegram. You can ask me questions on Telegram as well, or you can do it on the YouTube channel as well. I generally try to respond on the YouTube channel. Okay. Yes. Any further things, everyone? Yeah. All the best for your careers. Yeah, pleasure. All the best for your careers. Get enough degrees, and in between try to spend enough time traveling. Spend a lot of money, and for that, once you spend a lot of money, you automatically think of making a lot of money. So yes, that is what my advice is. And yeah, that's it. And keep sharing things. Whatever you learn in life, keep sharing that. I'm giving a lot of unnecessary gyan, but yeah, that is what the profession is. Okay. Pleasure. Thank you so much. I don't know how to do an open group on Telegram. If someone can suggest me, or someone can make an open group, I don't mind being a part of it and answering all your queries there. Okay. So please, all available for any queries with regards to career. Okay. Yes. Fine. I'll sign off. Okay. Thank you so much. Pleasure meeting all of you all. All the best once again, and see you soon. Bye.